Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first paywall roast of 2024. Probably not the last. Jacob?
Well, we'll see how badly this one goes.
Y'all excited about roasting some paywalls today?
We got two Jakes and the David. I was two Jakes and an expert. We'll call it that. So
I don't know. I think Jake's the expert on paywall
okay,
roasting.
so yeah, it doesn't quite work. It'd be better if you and David, you were named Jake, but we'll work on it.
All right, so as we're getting started, I did want to ask both of you to introduce yourselves and your relative companies as CEOs of RevenueCat and Superwall. So Jake, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Superwall?
For sure. Yeah, Superwall, for those who don't know, is an iOS SDK. We make it easy to launch paywall experiments with the drag and drop paywall editor. We also have tools for audience targeting, A/B testing, and we have an excellent integration with RevenueCat, so you can track all your revenue in Superwall and see how each paywall affects things like your LTV and retention and stuff like that.
Awesome. And Jacob, Mr. Boss Man, my boss's boss. Who are you?
RevenueCat.com. Jake kind of into it, but for anybody that doesn't know, we do in-app purchases infrastructure from soup to nuts. We also have, on the flip side of that great Superwall integration, send all your data to Superwall. And they have their deep paywalls integrate perfectly with our infrastructure. It's a really beautiful thing. But yeah, I assume are there people that just show up on this and they're like, I've never heard of RevenueCat?
Maybe, if you are, a little bit of an elevator pitch.
That's pretty bad. I haven't pitched in a while. I'll let you do the pitching, David.
All right. And I am David Barnard, growth advocate at RevenueCat. I've been working with Jacob more than 4 years now. We've been around the block. So we're going to get started today. There will not be a Q&A. The chats will probably be lively. There's lots of RevenueCat folks in the chat, as well as Jake and Jacob will probably join in. I try to stay focused on hosting. But yeah, if you do have questions, just throw them in the chat and other people probably answer. Jake might take a sec to answer, but we won't do a Q&A like we typically do. We're going to stick to just an hour, and I think we're all pretty long-winded. I don't think we'll have time at the end for Q&A. We will share this recording to YouTube, and you will get an email with the recording that you can share with other folks as well. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get rolling. Time to roast our first paywall. So we're going to kick it off with V1 Golf. So little context, this was submitted by the Director of Growth of V1 Sports, which includes sports technology apps V1 Golf, V1 Baseball, V1 Pro Mobile, soon to be replaced by V1 Coach. So let's kick it off. Jake, what do you think of the V1 Golf paywall?
They're definitely solving a problem. 6.5% to 12% start rate is good. We see the max at being like around 20%, for the fully optimized apps, and usually coming in is around 4%, 3 to 5, like maybe 3 to 5%. So they definitely are doing something right. I would guess they solve a real problem. The paywall could definitely use some work though. So for starters, the button should be a little bit bigger. I would make it, I don't know, taller.
It should be at least as big as the big done button.
Yeah,
exactly. And then, yeah, the V1. I'm not a huge fan of branding the pro version of your app like V1 Plus or Snapchat Plus. I think it's better to just use that space for another call to action. Like,
interesting. So you
start your trial today.
You don't think like a pro or like a named experience it's just the trade-off on the real estate's not worth it?
Yeah, I don't think so. Like, it's okay to reference it in the content itself, but V1 Plus, I don't like. Think of a consumer; they're trying to keep track of hundreds of Pro Plus premium offerings that they don't mean anything to the average person. I think.
I can critique design. Are we allowed to critique design?
We're allowed to critique anything.
Yeah.
This is a paywall roast.
Okay, let's go. Welcome to Design Review. I guess a couple things, and not without having the like UX in my hand. And I presume the done will bring straight to the paywall, which I think is the right move, right? Maybe, I don't know. Jake, how do you feel about priming like in the onboarding? Like,
it works well. It's a little bit of a dark pattern. The ones that work, ones that work get the user into the motion of tapping in the same place 4 or 5 times.
Oh.
And I hope they purchase.
Yeah. Don't do that.
But that's why priming works.
Lower that button down a little bit, widen it up, and then make sure that all the 4 subsequent screens all have the same action. No, don't do that actually. But that'll kill your trial start rate probably.
And Jake, you've seen in your data that even when you do that priming tab, then you just get a higher cancellation rate when they hit the X on the App Store button. So it's probably offsets quite a bit. It's not like everybody who just gets primed, but
you make more money, but how does it weigh on your soul? That's the real question.
Poorly.
Yeah. But and then I guess the other thing I would point out is too like the exit flow here. There's a back button, which like from a UX perspective, I don't know what that does. That's going to take me back to the onboarding potentially. Maybe this came in from a different location. If you tapped into this from a menu, maybe that's the case. But if this were to like pop up as a sheet, like that would be a weird experience. But maybe I'm critiquing something it's not really relevant. But yeah, Jake, what do you think about the sort of the button not being the anchor, like the most bottomest thing on the page? You see how
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I don't subscription details and options is a little wordy. And that arrow, that rightward arrow, I think is maybe has too much visual weight. Like you could do like an inline chevron, and get rid of the bold and then make 7 days free, then $69.99 a year bold.
Yeah, maybe if you just lessen the treatment of that, Apple will let you, like that shouldn't have a heavier treatment than some of the other content on the page. But then also there's something, I guess underneath is fine, but also it's something weird to me to not have the like main call to action for the page being like the last item, right?
Yeah,
it's like mentally I'm like, okay, where do I go? I want to go to the bottom before I decide what to do next. And here it's like the call to action actually comes before the final content. But I don't know. I'm just making stuff up.
Yeah, one thing I do the tags, like exclusive video library, swing like a pro. There is some strong copy on the page. So I think they've done pretty good there.
You guys ever watch a Country Club Adjacent? It's like a TikTok or thing where they roast people while they're swinging golf clubs. Like it's this podcast they like set up at the golf course and they like basically make fun of you while you're swinging. And they've done like celebrities, like they've done Trump, they've done Bill Burr and stuff. It's pretty good. So I feel like that's what we should be doing. Yeah, we should be roasting this guy swinging the golf club up here. Another annoying critique would be that like round those corners. You got nice rounded corners on the other one. Round the corners on this. Free on iOS. Rounded corners are free. Did you know that? You don't.
No, but it's edge to edge.
Oh, is it really? Oh, okay. Is that screen? Okay, so maybe it's fine. Got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
One little other minor design critique here before we move on. The little dot is below the done button, which is weird. I don't know what's going to happen. Like the dot should be like that photo of the guy swinging on the first screen should be a little smaller.
You have to, David,
should be below it.
If there's no button in the other pages, then like that would maybe be where it would be. You know what I mean? Like the other pages are just static images, and then you swipe in at the end. It's hard to tell without having the live experience. True. But
it's a little weird.
I would also position, like, think about the small percentage of golfers who are downloading this app. They're like, they really want to swing like a pro. I would probably show a lot more, like I would show screenshots of what you're getting, a dashboard of all the charts you'll see, and really like almost exceed their expectations in how much data that they're going to be getting. I think that'd be cool. Or compare it to like the professional software that pros use in some way.
Yeah, I can think of cases where I've actually sprung for the free 7 day on an onboarding experience. It's when the app looks really great, but I'm maybe only getting a third of it. So show me the other 2/3 of the app I'm not getting, so that I start the trial, at least so that I like come right into the premium experience, because otherwise I might not hit another paywall depending on how you have your placements later on.
And they may have that before this screen. We don't know what those like 4 other screens before, but then it does feel like a little bit of a waste. You just have a guy swinging and that's like this whole screen. And then you go to the actual paywall and it's a guy taking a golf swing. So it does feel like a little bit of a waste right there to not have a little stronger like visual or call to action or benefits or something on that last page.
So Tiger's out now, right? Like he's done. So maybe reach out to his people. Maybe or just put his picture in. This is official advice. Just put Tiger Woods in there. It'll be a while till you get in trouble. And then it'll probably just be a C and D. And then by that point, you're number 1 on the App Store. No,
this is not legal advice.
Do not do that. Do not do that. But if you do that,
the trial start rate is great. This thing has legs. This should be at 20%.
Yeah. With a paywall like this, if you're at that rate already, like
Yep.
there's with a little of that, you can sprinkle a little of that Jake Mor magic on it, and this thing will be singing.
All right. I think that was a good take on V1 Golf. Let's move on to the next one. FarOut Guides. So this one actually has a lot more context, which is often helpful. So I'll read through that and then we'll critique. FarOut Guides is the #1 navigational guide for the best long distance trails in the world. Our subscription is an additional product that unlocks our entire catalog of individually purchasable guides or lifetime purchases when purchased individually, and range anywhere from $4.99 to $74.99 in price when purchased as a lifetime option. Quick aside, but this is actually a really interesting strategy that I think a lot of content apps could or should explore, is having a bunch of these one-time purchases, and then that makes the price of the subscription look a lot better. And I've talked to a lot of folks who do this, and it actually increases their subscription rate, because you see, oh man, I could buy like 50 of these for $20 each. That's $1,000. That's a lot of money. Oh wow, the subscription is only X dollars a month.
And then the best part is the subscription whiners you get to ignore. The people that are like, I will never pay a subscription for anything ever. And you don't have to. It's $24.99 for one trail.
Just buy it. And sometimes somebody will buy a couple of trails and then they subscribe. It's a way to even double dip. All right. So we're always looking for ways to improve our conversion. Our pricing ladder and annual incentives seem to work very well. Roughly 75% of subscription purchases are for the annual offering. When a user purchases the annual subscription, they receive 100 points, which are equivalent to $100 used to redeem any guide in our store for a lifetime purchase. All guide purchases are lifetime purchases. So then I didn't read that full thing before the webinars. That I'm not sure I like. It seems to be working for our guide. I would maybe consider just making it unlimited when they're in the subscription, but it depends on exactly.
Can you run that by me one more time? I got lost. I heard numbers and then I kind of phased out.
Yeah, and so maybe this is our first critique here before we even get to the paywall, is that these kind of convoluted things where the subscription gives you 100 points, and then the points lets you buy the FarOut Guides for
like Audible
permanently. Yeah. And so, like Audible, exactly. So I don't know, like it may be working. So hard to say it's wrong.
I fear anything that makes users think. Like anything where a user has to go, like even the Audible, it's like, it's easy. It's one book, 1 point. It's very straightforward. And that's always interesting to me, because like books, Audible, if you buy them straight out, vary a lot in price, but they're always just like 1 credit, 1 book. And that's easy. And they probably figured out what they need to charge per credit for that to net out for them. And that's how they set their subscription price. I guess an interesting question for me, David, do you know, are these first party guides and stuff that
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So like they probably have some freedom on margin, but yeah, I definitely, as a drive-by, just make it easy. I get everything when I have a subscription. Like that's what I expect. But
yeah, it feels like they're copying like an Audible model, but I think Audible is only doing that because they're at the like beck and call of the publisher.
And then Audible, that gets them more margin, because every unspent credit for them is just money they book. They carry a liability for that, but like it's cash flow. Like there's a lot of advantages versus they probably give 80% of that out to a publisher once it's purchased. But if it just hits its credits, like that stuff they can earn interest on and whatnot, that's good for business operations. So,
but yeah, business model aside though, the FarOut Unlimited, that visual weight up top should say subscribe for unlimited access or something like that. Like really just telling them what to do. I think there should be a lot more white space around the check marks and maybe add one or two of them.
That gray text right underneath the logo is so...
It's unreadable.
It's not really doing anything, I don't think.
And then the product picker should honestly just be a standard product picker.
Like the images
you can't tell if one is selected or not. Yeah, it's too high contrast.
There's a lot of noise. It looks nice as an art piece, but again, it's like anything that's overstimulating the customer is gonna cause bounce and just cause people to go, okay, I can't understand this like simply. So I'm actually surprised they got away with the weight difference in annual and in the dollars amounts, right? Sometimes Apple's real finicky about that when the price is small. So
yeah, and then the call to action starting out is red But it's like the call to action has so little weight on the screen because those 3 selectors are so dominant.
Yeah, I think I now see these are toggleable. So you like select one and then you hit start now, which probably is suboptimal, I would guess, versus just like tapping one and having that be the button would probably it would reduce a step. Also, I'm a little confused, and maybe this is just the treatment on this particular one, but because this is even a screenshot, I think this might be a design because like it's bigger than the iPhone frame at the top, but like annual $8 a month. I guess it's like the reduced build annually. Okay, I see, and then seasonal build semi-annually. I see, that makes sense. But like the fact that season isn't immediately clear to me on what that means, I think adds additional cognitive load. But yeah, definitely I would bump up that start now button, like you were saying, David. At least if you want small changes, like bump that up to be the same width as the rest. I think would also just be like more visually aligned. But yeah. Jake, what do we think about the call to actions embedded in the list of content?
You're saying the product picker or the second screenshot?
No, it's on the second screenshot. So basically like every 10, they have this like FarOut unlimited learn more.
Oh, learn more. No, it looks like an ad.
I was gonna say, I think that, and it might just be the call to action, right? If you just said upgrade to pro or get everything, something just very directed, that I don't know. Whenever I see learn more, it's like a chore. I don't want to learn. Like, what do I gotta learn? How much do I gotta read? Like, just like everything included. Click button, pay money, right?
Yeah, I would also, if it's true that the price of all these trails are meant to be not a decoy, but the purpose of them is to convey value of the unlimited price. So I would pull out like the $24.99 and $55.99 at the bottom, make those like big green and to the right, so people understand how much each one of these cost. And then instead of FarOut unlimited inline, I would have a floating like banner at the bottom with a white background and be like, or get everything for free, like with FarOut unlimited, or not for free, but get everything with FarOut. So they see it's a choice. Yeah, show them that they have a choice of initial purchase or.
And I'm a little confused too, because on the paywall it says unlimited access to everything, 200 plus guides, 50,000 plus miles. But then on annual, it says get 100 points, which equals $100 credit.
Yeah.
It's like this gets back
that's
to
why,
like,
that's why you have to learn more, David. Are you not educated on how this works yet?
Yeah, room for improvement.
Yeah, and back to
now
the
we're
business
roasted,
model.
Boys.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle. We love you.
Back to the business model a little bit. So one of the things that struck me thinking a little bit more about this is that looking at these trails, like if all you're ever going to do is hike the Australian all rides or Arkansas hiker special, if all you're going to do is ever hike in Arkansas, then you're going to go on one trip to go. And this is one of the challenges with subscription apps, right? If you're only going to do the Appalachian Trail once, then you subscribe for a month, you do your month on the Appalachian Trail, you pay your $15 and you're done forever. And they probably got way more than $15 of value out of it. So I can see what they're trying to like equate the value given with the price that they're charging. And that's why they came up with this convoluted system. But it's just so confusing. Like I'm confused about it. And Jacob, as the prototypical lazy consumer, I think your points are really valid. Like it's just so confusing.
Yeah. I mean, at this point,
you don't want to have to learn to use it. You don't want to have to learn anything to pay money.
Yeah, it's so important. Maybe they do. There's a possibility they are paying like some licensing for some of the trail data or something like this. And maybe that's part of their calculus. I would say maybe subscriptions just aren't, I don't know, might not be worth the squeeze, right? At this, maybe just sell credits and that's good enough. But yeah, I would be really interested in just how depressed the purchase rates are because of the cognitive load, right? I always talk about on consumer, especially on consumer stuff, like it's got to just be a well-greased slide. Like the user, if there's anything the user can stop and think and like think how many times, especially like for most cases, apps are within the luxury good. It's not something you're going to die if you don't buy, right? So there's going to always be options for people to put it back on the shelf and go, maybe I'll save the buck. So you want to reduce like those number of moments to get them across to purchasing. And then you've got to continue to make that argument and continue to earn their dollars. But the more things that give people an opportunity to think about it, the worse off you're going to do.
Yeah. All right. I think we've done enough for FarOut Guides. That was definitely the roastiest so far.
We're just getting started. We got 8 more. Let's go. I'm losing some customers today. Let's go.
All right. Deep Dive by Jeremiah Howell. So the context is Deep Dive is a bass fishing app for over 2,500 US lakes. The model is freemium, offering limited free features for a chosen lake. For example, bait recommendations, lake data, and weather. The paywall is shown after an optional newsletter sign up. There's no account creation. We have 2 tiers, Pro and Pro Plus. Pro gives users everything, while Plus gives them about half the things. Either choice has a 1-week trial. If a user is not a subscriber or not in a trial, the paywall is triggered anytime they tap on a Pro or Plus feature. Top of the paywall is auto horizontal scrolling section, contains short benefit titles with accompanying app screenshots. All right, Jake.
Start with Jake. Jake.
Let's start with Jake.
I love how you feel like a human made this. Like, it feels great. It feels like it was made by people who love the sport, which is awesome. I like the design, and I like the design I like the background. The CTA button, I think, could be bordered a little bit more with negative space. Like maybe you take a dark blue and you make a drawer out of that, and then you choose the button color as something higher contrast. And then in general, I'm not a fan of like Pro Plus distinctions. I'd rather see like all or nothing with a generous trial.
For the same reason, it's like too much. I gotta decide Pro or Plus.
Yeah, this is homework. This is like reading like a menu.
That was gonna be my wisecrack. Was like, if you need reading glasses, like you probably have too much stuff on your paywall, and some of the text. These walls are shrunk a little bit from the other ones we're looking at, but I literally have to zoom in, and I'm like thinking like, ugh. And you're just trying to get a lot on here, right? You've got slides. And then it's interesting too. I'd be interested to see how the UX works. Oh, okay. So you have like selector buttons on year, month on Pro, year, month on Plus, and then the button, I'm assuming, reacts, right?
Yeah.
To that.
But the content in the check marks, I think, are written really well. So like instantly see the best places to fish. That's its result. Like we're sharing the result with you instead of saying like a fish map. That's what people do. But instantly see the best place to fish. I get it. Use the patterns the pros use to win. I love it.
With our tournament patterns map, I'm a big fan of taking a feature and making sure you give it like a good titular name. It doesn't have to be crazy, but if you just give it a little name, it makes it so. Our tournament patterns map with all caps. It's like, oh wow, this is something some fisher scientists have developed that I should be taking use of. Same with the water clarity estimate map. Somebody's got good copywriting. It's copywriting is deceptively difficult. There's just like lots of little details. There's the art side of it, like saying the right thing, and then there's all the little things like make sure it's caps, make sure it's too short, and when to put punctuation and not. And this is good copywriting.
I really like the social proof with the app reviews, and I like the design. I like how I might have to steal this.
What was the
crooked little thing?
Looks like it was made by humans. That's the most. That's the most New York backhanded compliment, Jake. On something made my flyover states. Oh, how quaint! Your app's very rustic. I love it. I agree though, and we were just roasting on.
It's not Mean Girls. It's not always Mean Girls here in New York.
We were roasting on FarOut for their splash images behind, and this one you're like, oh, I like the splash images. I think the key differences are, or the backgrounds, they're full and they're blurred. Like that's if you go back to the FarOut ones, we're not blurred. And I think that when you have a non-blurred background like that, it's too distracting. Like your eyes are like, you're wanting to look at what's going on in the scene. Here, you're like, it's mimicking you're holding a phone or something, and there's like action in the background, right? In like the bokeh. And I think that's why it works in this case, and not the others.
Yeah. I would still remove it though.
Oh, you would remove it? Oh, I thought you said you liked it.
Yeah. Oh, I like it, but I would remove it. I don't think it would be net positive, and if it's not helping, it's probably hurting.
Okay.
I don't know, because on this one, I'll take the opposite side of this one. I think that the background image, like Jacob was saying, being blurred, it actually draws your attention more to the white blobs with the text.
But it would be achieved as well with a gradient or something, right?
It could be.
Yeah, but if you get rid of it, then you don't need a white card surrounding the text, and you can make the text bigger.
That's true.
Which I think is much more.
And the text is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly. I would do a slider. I'd make it like a carousel that auto advances with all the features that you get. So auto advance it until interaction.
Oh, between the checkboxes.
Yeah, and I would pull out that copy. And yeah,
which is challenging with the Pro Plus, right? If you have Pro and Plus, you have 6 different things. You're selling 2 products at the same time, which is like really challenging.
I did really like your idea, Jake, and we do this at RevenueCat with the footer view, is that if you have a little card at the bottom that's like stationary, the card can't move, it's anchored down there, and the card is like black or something like contrasty, and then the button would really pop, and then that draws you to the button a little more strongly than the way the button's just sitting on top of a more noisy UI versus the button itself sitting on top of negative space, like you were saying. I think that's maybe the top recommendation here too.
I would say the opportunity is to be at least 12 to 15%. It's an expensive sport. People are spending money already. I think they'd spend that extra few percent to make the rest of their money go farther.
It's a huge market too. Like 10K now
huge.
is like very low penetration on. So if you're finding the right people, there's opportunity.
Yeah, 8.4% install to conversion though. This is not paid. This is not trial start rate. This is actually like conversion rate. They're doing well. That's that's an
8.4 install to paid?
It's they worded it funny, but I'm pretty sure that's what they mean. Install to trial conversion rate. So not install to trial.
So they might be running like a 16 to 20% trial start, maybe something like that.
No, I think this is 8.4% install to trial.
Okay, maybe so.
That would mean, they would have.
Install to trial. It depends on how you read trial
Someone
conversion.
needs to standardize these things. If only someone could standardize
we need
all subscription events.
2024 Status Subscription Apps Report coming soon with all of this in industry standard terminology.
All the way. I feel like we took it easy on these folks.
That's a good paywall. But there's stuff to learn from good.
I just eat fish.
Paywalls, so. I do actually like the founder thing too. What do you think about that, Jacob?
Including
Jake.
Love it.
Like including the real people built this. They're from Texas and Arkansas.
I love it. I think it's going to be so important moving forward. Show that you're a real person. Look, what indies have going for them is that really good customer support. Like you should be able to text them, see a face to the name, and it makes people feel like they're a part of it. I did that a lot at Fitness AI. I had my face everywhere. People felt like I was reaching out to them, and people like it.
Yeah, I like too that the pictures of each of the makers, they're holding a fish.
They just grabbed their Tinder profile pictures.
But it's made by people who actually fish, by real people who actually fish. I love it. All right, let's move on to the next one. Next one is MoneyFest. So the context is I launched MoneyFest app back in October 2023. It's a finance and budget tracker app that operates on a freemium model with 3 plans, monthly, yearly, and lifetime. We're seeking ways to enhance the paywall and exploring best practices. We're contemplating whether to retain the lifetime plan or offer it for a limited time. We can get into that. The paywall has multiple entries. First, when the app is newly installed before onboarding. Second, after the onboarding process. Third, with the app's setting display upgrade. All right, Jacob, why don't you kick us off with this one? And I think the first thing you're going to say, I can't read
tiny
any
letters.
of that.
Teeny tiny letters. I think there's this constant struggle. And I think this is in so many walks of life. Everybody's just got so much to say, right? Everybody wants to say a lot. And then you try to cheat on being able to say a lot by putting it in teeny tiny letters. And I think that is not to anybody's benefit, right? I think it makes you feel better about it. But I think there's only so much data somebody can take in anyway in this format. So you're not actually cramming more in there. And actually, I think there's a lot of dead space I feel like they could use to bump the text size up. And then like another visual critique, like the hero image at the top, I think could be reweighted a little bit. There's like a lot of dead space And I'm of course big with I love the meditating cat. It's very on brand for my brand. But then the like small icons are a little flat and stuff like that. And that's a cheap thing to invest in, is to get a better image.
Jake?
Yeah, I agree with everything. I think the button should be bigger. The text should be bigger. Definitely increase the text size. It could be, okay, I have a theory actually. I bet, because this seems very developer. I feel like this was built, it was built by a developer. It's very like developer-y. Yeah, very indie. And you could tell because the second review, one they're very proud of, is the impressive UI, and the performance of the app was really fast, right? Like advertising offline mode. The consumer doesn't care about offline mode, typically. I don't know. But I have a theory. I think that since they're such a good developer, it's adaptive text, and maybe the settings on their phone is smaller text.
Okay, could be.
Because the design language is good, and it doesn't make sense that the text is that small for no reason. So that's my guess.
It could be, yeah. What's your feeling? I feel like of the select and push, like select a plan, push a button, I feel like these three layouts for me are so much easier to grok than some of the other ones. When I'm like trying to when I'm just like trying to pick like A, B, or C, like this is much simpler for me to see and understand. I don't spend a lot of time parsing what's going on there, which is good. Like you want to minimize the time I'm spending on stuff that isn't differentiating. So don't make me think about the buttons.
But I'm seeing the pricing before I've learned what you've done.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the order seems out of order, right? It's like the F's and B's, the features and benefits, that should be up above any sort of like pricing selection. Which then you should probably just sticky that, right? You should sticky the pricing selection maybe, and then because it looks like this scrolls. Actually, are we looking at two different paywalls here? Because the one on the right,
I think it's. Oh, interesting. Newbie. Oh, after the reviews, he shows this.
Shows it again. So maybe multiple selectors.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little funky. That's a little to have a repeated element that's like probably synchronized, I would guess.
Yeah, but fun to build.
Yeah, there we go. Jake's Let's, in the spirit of roasting, other things that tells me this is a developer first paywall, cheaper than your coffee. That little argument, like that's such a tell, right? Yeah, and then the long. This is okay. So this is some advice generally. So this first bullet here, cheaper than your coffee. When you choose budgeting tools, we don't invest in flashy ads. We don't do SEO experts or all these like disgusting things like growth and marketing and design. and that's how we keep our prices incredibly affordable, cheap, so you can access all the benefits. One thing I see especially with developers is like they're always coping with the fact that they're charging money. They're always like, I know, I'm so sorry. I built this thing. It's not worth anything, but I need to eat. It's cheaper than coffee. Please pay me. And there's a lot of really reasons for that. Like the culture that developers typically come from, the folks that end up becoming developers. There's a lot of reasons for that. But I think Jake was mentioning before is I think often if you're a developer, your initial intuitions about what people care about is wrong. Like you're not a typical person if you're a developer. I'm sorry. Like most of your customers are not going to think exactly like you. And so nobody knows what an SEO expert is. Like 1 in 500 people that read that are going to even read it. And then of those people, nobody's going to care. So you can easily like trim that down. But then generally in terms of developers, like you got to avoid the apologia, like the constantly feeling bad about charging for your product. Cause like people read that as, I don't know, maybe getting too psychological. People read that as weakness, right? Like they want to see somebody who's like proud and confident about what they built, right? Don't be overly salesy, but you're asking people for money. Be confident you're asking people for money, right? Like you're entering in a really important relationship with them and they want to know that you feel strong about delivering. You may not deliver, right? And then they churn, and then that's the conversation you're having, right? But people
buy, like when you buy something, you're excited. It's not a bad thing. Like you want to give them money.
Right. Yeah.
You're like, I'm so excited. I just got this thing. You show your friends, you tell your friends about it. Like it's a fun, positive thing.
People spend too much time in the Hacker News comment section, right? Like the developer forums and stuff. Developers are like fantastically stingy sometimes. And I think we get normalized to that mindset. And you're just maybe not going to convert those people. And that's fine. Like just go find the ones that will convert. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too, which we pointed out on the other paywall, is that a lot of the copy here is so feature focused versus benefit focused. unlimited wallets, unlimited budgets, unlimited categories, charts. Especially if this is like the first paywall they see, they might not know or care. Like, what's a wallet? Budgets?
Since we're
like,
roasting,
I'm going to be limited.
I guarantee this paywall's buried 9 menus down. So I don't think anybody's seeing it at the beginning.
It did say when the app is newly installed before onboarding. So it does seem like
good.
Showing,
at least good. That's a first step
frequently.
of being confident. Getting out
Well,
there.
actually, there's no X button.
Oh,
Hey, no, there is. It's tiny, way up there in the top right.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Above the meditating cat.
Oh, that was a smudge.
I don't think that was an intentional dark pattern, but you probably locking people into your paywall isn't your biggest lever right now. There's a lot of other opportunity. So Jake, what are the like couple of things you would do? Bigger, make the text a little bit bigger, cut the copy down.
Cut the copy down, feature driven, and conform to like that standard sort of card element with the picker above the purchase button.
It might also be good to just see some features too. Like maybe right now I just see a cat, which is great if you have that brand throughout, but maybe figure out a way to work in some visuals of what I'm actually getting. You have charts, show me a chart if you can.
Yeah. A lot of feedback on this one. That to me, that's exciting for Evanson. You got a lot of room to
easy money.
Improve your business. There's a
easy
lot of
money
here. And this is not a bad paywall. There's a lot of work.
Yeah, I know. I've certainly seen worse paywalls.
Way worse.
In my life. Yeah,
way worse. All right, let's move on to the next one.
We should grab a just total trash fire of a paywall sometime.
Actually, little spoiler alert, it'll probably be a few months because we're not going to do these monthly like we have the last 3 months, but either the next one or the next one after this, I really want to do a roast like publicly traded companies.
Oh yeah,
Disney Pluses. Some of the big apps have the worst paywalls, and that one punching up. We can really go to town on that.
That's really good lead gen. That's the lead gen we should be doing. Yeah, just start talking trash about the top 10 subscription apps and pay us money. We're gonna keep talking trash about your app until you sign an MSA.
It's probably because we're developers.
Yeah. All right.
SwiftSole helps sneakerheads get the latest sneaker releases without hassle. We have a soft paywall. We use a freemium model. We have numerous unrestricted features, but for the best chance at securing the sneakers the user wants, they need to upgrade to Pro. Currently, we're struggling to get more conversions. The entry point is during onboarding and from different hard paywalled features. At the moment, the paywall is the same no matter where a user clicks from. In the future, we want to make the paywall images and text dynamic based on the user entry points. All right, Jake, you kick us off.
The design is great.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's good. Like everything is laid out properly.
It's got the little shelf at the bottom like we talked about on the other one.
Yeah, but it's like all the way down. I would say this is better than a show all plans. There's 3 options, right? There's showing all your plans up front and people can just pick one. There's the polar opposite, which is just showing your highest LTV product. Then there's like a middle ground, which is putting everything behind a show more options or see more prices field button. But those see more prices buttons, like they don't really get that many clicks. So if it's the case where you don't want to show all of them at once, but you want everyone to know about all of them, this is actually a pretty good approach. I'd maybe make the text a little bit smaller. Oh, wow. The only mention of the free trial is under the CTA. 1 week free. Wait, it says 1 week free, then only $79.99 per year. Then it says 3 days free, then $79.99 per year.
Also some fashionably
yeah.
So apparently this is for Latin users. No, I think it's a spec. Yeah, I think it's a spec.
Overall, great though. Best we've seen, I think.
Yeah, in terms of design, fit and finish, like top tier. This is S tier stuff. Mm-hmm. But got to have a 5-star review. Do not show me a 4-star review.
Oh yeah.
True. This isn't a dingy restaurant where I'm looking for that great 3.8 stars when it's like perfect. I want 5 stars. Pick a 5-star. But I would also say just with 4,500 MAU, like maybe monetization shouldn't be your biggest focus right now. If you're converting 1% of those a month, that's 45 purchases a month, right? Like maybe you can start to get some traction there, but I would almost wonder if just 10xing that number first should be your main focus. I don't know. That's a meta goal. It depends on some other factors I can't see here.
Yeah, or you go the flip side and do a hard paywall and make sure people are actually willing to pay.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in this like pure sort of product market fit finding stage, like throwing up something a high bar can sometimes be advantageous.
Yeah, I do really like how they have try for free, and then they don't have an all plans button, and you have to scroll to see the other plans. And so the selections at the bottom, I actually really like that because it frees up the call to action to be clearer. And then people are like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. The people who scroll will see those other options. It's nice. Because that whole little bottom shelf is like so clear and punchy. I even like the more readable 3 days free than $7.99 per year. Because a lot of it's like $7.99 a year after 3 days. It's a very readable call to action. I think I've seen that other places too, but I like it.
I agree, and I think more people will scroll to the bottom, then will click more pricing or other plans.
Yeah,
I think it's a good.
What do we think about phoneception? I got a little thrown off. I'm like on a phone. I'm looking at a phone.
Really well.
See, this is why we have the expert on here because I don't know.
Especially before onboarding, because it's the equivalent of. I always say this. It's the equivalent of going to Target or like going to the Apple Store and being able to open the lid on the product and you see everything through the cellophane, but you can't touch it. I think it's like the same thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's something psychological about it. Yeah. I get it. All right. I'll bite.
Just a guess.
And also just to anti-roast this more, I love the like underline touch is really great.
Yeah, it's great.
154 per week. Your developer's gonna love implementing that.
By the way, that's gonna
you're making lots of friends. That's one of those awkward conversations. I'm going back to designer being like, or it comes back. It's literally like just the text is green and underlined.
Yes.
Version 1. And then it's like ship it. Which I guess if I'm gonna roast anything, it's you gotta watch out like creating a piece of art and not a paywall. You know what I mean? This is really nice looking. It looks really great. But also 4,500 MAU and like probably like very early days on conversion rate, like maybe having the most stylish and beautiful, unless it's like important to your brand that you're design, which maybe in sneakerheads are your core audience that like aesthetics are probably high on their list. But you got to be careful not to get into competitive art contests here instead of designing something to convert.
But ultimately, a paywall like this is like a day of work in SwiftUI. Jake will build it for you over at Superwall.
Yeah,
I think you can do a nice paywall very quickly and just follow best practices. Like this, probably borrowing a lot from other great paywalls. Like just borrow a lot from other great paywalls. If you're out there agonizing over your paywall design, like just steal this one. And
it's
then
probably
like,
one of these things, David,
where
the one day gets you everything and then a whole nother day for the green line.
Yes, that's exactly it. And then you have to localize it.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking you can't even use an image, right? You're like, now you're reading about Bezier paths and stuff. And what am I job again? Like, I'm not.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going because we do only have 10 minutes left. So let's speed run these next few. Next one is Weight Loss Tracking Buddy. I released Weight Loss Tracking Buddy back in September and received a pretty sweet hat from RevenueCat for September. Awesome.
You're welcome.
Soft paywall challenges. When the app starts getting a few more downloads, I'll be A-to-B testing things, trial, no trial, various pricing, and with and without offering a 6-month option. I love that he's already planning on doing these kind of tests. Those will help. Entry points, onboarding. I show the paywall after onboarding, which goes welcome view, preferences, about you, your goal. Then the paywall displays a dismissible sheet with a skip for now button. I also have Get Pro XYZ feature buttons dotted out throughout the app and also at launch. They also launch the paywall. All right, let's speed run this.
Speed run. I'll do 30 seconds. Jake, you do 30 seconds. Okay. The green, I need to call the police because this white on this green is a major contrast crime. Like you need to treat that differently. It might look a little bit better on the phone if it's got better nits or whatever the hell, the display technology. But from here, like I can barely read it. You probably can read it, but it's going to, again, strain the customer a little bit. And you don't want to do that. That's my biggest thing. I think everything else looks nice. I like the little Get Pro, unlock all features, CTA. I think that looks solid. All right, Jake, roast it.
Roasting. Yeah, I think the contrast for sure is a big issue. Yeah, move the product drawer down.
Sorry.
My guess is it's light mode, dark mode supported,
Mm.
and all the text just goes white or black. It's my guess, but I think there's like some subclass. There's some way to make it true black
You can
always.
fix that with computers. Yeah.
and to Jacob's point, there are contrast calculators online, and especially for a call to action, you want to be, I forget the like labels that they call them, but there's like the highest tier of accessibility for color contrast. And for a call to action, you want to be in that highest tier. Like you want it to be super contrasty.
Absolutely. And you can't trust your own judgment. Because it's to be accessible. Like you can't trust it.
Yeah, everybody has different thresholds for what they can see, different eyesights. And the nice thing is like good accessibility design often, again, it's the same argument for just making it easy. Like you want users not to get hung up on anything, and that tends to be good accessibility design too. I'll add it too. I think that they do a good job with the screenshots here. It's nice. I get to see stuff in the paywall, which is good.
Yeah. Overall, pretty good.
All right, let's go to the next one. This is TouchRetouch. It's an app for easily removing unwanted objects from photos. There's a background video showcasing the app's features. Nice. Soft paywall entry points in the user journey upon first launch. There's an upgrade now banner, and then export limit reached. All right, let's speed run this. I liked the auto-playing video, Jake. I know you're big on that. It's pretty cool to get a video of what you're actually going to get in the app.
Jake,
I love this one. They're a customer of ours.
Oh,
love it. Love seeing it. Probably could make the text a little bit bigger, maybe bold. And yeah, they said it was a video. I don't know if it is. Is it a video?
That's what they said.
Oh yeah. So that's great. Yeah, I mean, something like this, you'd have to critique the video because it's such a big element. But yeah, if it like shows that you could remove backgrounds, it's awesome.
So is the yearly plan that's like a false choice? Like you can't choose anything else. It's just pre-selected.
It works. I don't think anybody's going to get options.
Oh, it could be. I'll critique the copy a little bit. I'll just remove accurate and clean. Lines and meshes, matchless AI features. I don't know. The like feature name : thing looks a little cheap to me. Like you can probably dress that up a bit. And also lines and meshes like together with an amp looks like a bug. Like looks like a typo. Yep. So that copy could be dressed up. Maybe make the names bold and then have a nice little copy line. You could probably wrap it. You've got enough space potentially. That's my one roasting. Little light flame throwing. Okay.
Also, the subtitle to the CTA is redundant. That could be like no payment due, cancel anytime, 3 days free.
Underneath the more power, more fun.
Oh yeah.
You mean?
No, under the 3-day free trial.
Yeah.
Oh, then 1999.
Yeah, that's redundant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll tighten things up to push the button down. I was going to say, this is a good example to remember how much you actually need to sell. Like some of these paywalls were like really long, had a lot going on. This app, if it's like removing the background, removing unwanted objects from a photo, and it looks like there's that little bit of green where they're maybe showing that you just highlight that and then it magically disappears. If the value that people are going to get from the app is super clear, and then you can even be showing it in this video, your paywall doesn't necessarily need to be like 5 pages long with all these call to actions and all this like text and all these like benefits. Sometimes you need to sell more, and sometimes the value is really obvious. You just want to like happy path to the conversion button. And this is a great example of that, like happy path to a conversion button. Like it seems like this would be a highly performing paywall for this kind of app where that value is so clear and then so well demonstrated in a video behind the call to action. I like it. All right, slide 9. I know Nihongo. I'm terrible at pronouncing anything not English. A Japanese dictionary and study app. It's got a soft paywall with the basic dictionary part of the app is free. Flashcards and other advanced features behind the paywall. Paywall appears in various places throughout the app. When you tap on a feature that requires a subscription, as well as in the banners at the top of the screens where the functionality is limited until you have a paid subscription. I would hope they also showed an onboarding. If you're not, do it. Basic hygiene. Yeah, what do y'all think?
Well, okay. So drive by here. I like the inline CTA when you hit a paywall. Like you hit something like it invites you to tap the pronunciation thing, and then you're really well primed at that point to start your trial, right? Oh, I can't do that. Like I want to do that. It's a little bit of trickery, but I think it's fair to be like, oh, okay, because you'll hit it a couple times. If you're not going to convert, you won't convert. But you're capturing somebody's intent to be like, oh, dang, I would like to have pronunciations. Okay, so now you have a reason to go through. I'm a little confused about how this flows. So you hit start your 14-day trial on the paywall, and then you get another modal that says start your 14-day free trial, where you have to pick.
Oh, no, I think that's if you click all plans.
Oh, I see. So yeah, you click that, then it just goes straight through, and then otherwise you have to click all plans. I see.
And then you click what's included in that second paywall.
That's that second one. Okay, I understand now. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the what's included is a nice supplemental, but then it doesn't feel like there's necessarily that much selling going on the main paywall. I don't think you should put this giant table. It's maybe nice to have that for comparison shoppers, but I feel like you could put some more of the F's and B's artfully on
totally
paywall.
Or screenshots of what the flashcard looks like, audio, OCR, all those.
Yeah, they're very good, like tactile features, right? Like flashcards, audio, OCR, like there's things you can show. The art's really nice. I think the aesthetic is a nice aesthetic.
But this is where maybe aesthetics took priority over selling, and maybe there really, like you were saying, there does need to be a little more selling and a little less just beautiful visuals on this page.
Well, you just say, design me a Mount Fuji in the style of whatever, and now you can just put that on a paywall. So we've been given too much power to do beautiful aesthetics, but it's hard to do screenshots though, like good screenshots that are well designed and fit them in and things. It's effortful. So I get why folks would just do something like this in a table, but I don't hate the table. I would never put it in front of people like straight up, but I don't hate it. It's nice to see.
Yeah, the table could maybe be condensed a little. There's a lot, and maybe that's the goal. But
you're showing there's too much in free.
Yeah, that's
one
what
thing
I was
in
say.
free. Crappy flashcards, free included, and then the rest is on pro.
Yeah, exactly. If you condense that a little bit to where there's like less in the free, and then more of the screen is taken up with what you're going to get with pro, I think that would help. All right, let's do the last one. We got 2 minutes left. We'll probably go just a couple of minutes over, but this is the first time we're going to get through all the paywalls. Prehab. The Prehab app is a physical therapy solution offering personalized programs, expert-led workouts, and extensive resources to eliminate pain and prevent injury. Nice little pitch there. It's a freemium app. Almost all content is behind a paywall, except for the first day session of each program and exercise of the day. The top section also has a horizontal slider. The CTA and pricing is sticky. The paywall shows up upon first loading or clicking any premium feature. We're currently A/B testing a free trial only on annual plans, not on monthly. This has led to a 75% increase in trials on the annual plan. All right, I did want to say the pitch is strong. Prehab is a physical therapy solution offering personalized program, expert-led workouts, and extensive resources to eliminate pain and prevent injuries. That is really good copywriting.
Less pain. It's a good pitch.
Well, that's not in the paywall anywhere, though. That's just in what they sent you, right, David?
That's true. Figure out a way to include that little pitch right there on the paywall. That's really good copywriting.
Maybe I don't need the Blinkist thing as high up and maybe move some of that up higher. I also noticed my eye twitched right away because there's some sort of balance issue in the buttons below, like and I measured it with my pixel measure. Like there's something wrong with the way the bottom text underneath monthly and underneath annual is presenting. So you got to normal people probably don't notice, but like for me, I'm like, there's an issue I have to, like, there's some unweightedness in those buttons that's bothering me.
Yeah. And this, but the copywriting, the primo place, it says, take control of your health anywhere, anytime. That's just blah, 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 blah. Like it's that.
Yeah. Doesn't mean
the
anything.
pitch they sent us was like so good. And then that is just, what does that even mean? When you have expert-led workouts that eliminate pain and prevent injury, like that's what should go right under the Prehab, right there on the paywall. Like that's really good stuff. Anything else, Jake?
Yeah, I think, okay, for starters, 13% install to trial on a $199 a year product is incredible.
Yeah, I was gonna say this thing must be really important to a small set of people, right?
Yeah,
that's a good business sometimes, right? At least they get started.
I would run a test with making those testimonials autoplay full screen at the top. There's a reason why all these health and fitness websites all have like someone talking to the camera like this, always doing this. I think there's a reason why they all do it. Like it works.
Sleeveless. But yeah, you already have video produced, right?
The videos are there. Yeah.
So you can cut that into a thing. I think generally there's just a little much going on. Maybe they're trying to do too many things and not hitting on the most important parts.
And the text is so small.
Yeah, those testimonials. You don't need probably more than just the bolded text. People just want to see a face and they want to see something nice they said, right? That's probably what they care about. It's really important for you to have that text, have it tap in or something. Like you could bury that behind a tap. I don't think it'll really make a difference though.
Is Michael here? I'm curious what trial start to trial converted is, because 199 you'll see billing errors. I would bet that it's not. Look, I haven't seen the app, but typically when I see like a ticket that high, the trial conversion rate is something like 15 to 20%. And if that's the case, like 15% of 199 is 29.99. So I would actually run a test like this versus 39.99 no trial.
If
I'm
it's
curious
high
what would happen
intent,
there.
if it's high intent,
Yeah,
maybe
because the intent's high enough. Yeah, where people might just pull the trigger.
Yeah, I was finding it interesting. We haven't we can really critique anybody's price, and I think you just talked about why, which is nobody knows, right? You just have to test it, right?
You gotta just exactly.
You got to just try it and see where people will land. But
I will say this: I always tell people this: people install your app if they have a problem, right? They start a trial if they think your solution works, and they convert if the solution does work or if they forget. Those are all the possibilities. And clearly there's a problem. Yeah, clearly there's a problem here, and they think that this solves the problem. So yeah, I think, and yeah, whenever that happens, it's a good reason to run a test with no trial.
Yeah. How long are the trials? 7 days. Yeah, 7 days. So.
All right, I think there's more. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, I was gonna say I came across two like pretty dark patterns that I haven't seen anyone do. And I'm curious if we share it. I'm curious what everyone's opinions of them are.
Dish. I want to hear.
Okay. So the first one is a small one. I learned this from restaurants. If you remove the dollar sign, like all restaurants, they don't. So high-end restaurants, they have dish on the left, and in line is the price without a dollar sign.
Mm-hmm. And without
versus like diners,
too, right? It'll be like 3.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm curious why more paywalls don't just try removing the dollar sign. I don't think it's against any rules. $199 a year, right?
Have you found this? So this is a dark pattern you found in the wild, and you're curious if it.
Yes, I'm curious. Yeah, these I haven't seen. I thought of them. I haven't.
Jake is doing stochastic app store terrorism right now. He's just like trying to get some money to do something stupid.
If anybody from Apple
is
watching, I think App Review will get wise to that pretty quick. That
would
seems
be
like the kind of thing that App Review is gonna.
It's not. It doesn't seem so crazy. Like it's high end.
Yeah. I guess it's.
I have one more.
Contextual. Okay, let's hear the other unendorsed
this one is, I think,
dark
this
pattern
one is
that
great.
Jake found.
So no one. Okay, the rule is you have to show the price in the paywall, right? No one says you have to write it as numbers. Like you can spell out. Why doesn't anyone spell out subscribe for $30 a year? Spell it out.
Yeah.
Not breaking any rules.
Yeah. All right.
Another one that might get you rejected, but is interesting.
Actually, I think that one is more likely. To succeed. Getting through would be my guess.
Doesn't catch any eye.
Yeah. But I don't know.
If Apple's allowed to read the fine print.
Who can play at this game, Tim?
Yeah.
So I have one. I'm actually curious to get y'all's take on it because I'm actually launching a big update to my weather app next week. And my plan right now, unless you guys just totally convince me otherwise, is to go $40 a year and $4 a month. Because Apple's new pricing, you can actually have even numbers. So historically, this whole like $199.99 thing, but 39.99 big number,
more visual weight.
It's just going to be $40 or $4 a month. What do you think?
I love it. Like you're paying
Launching
for a weather
next
app.
week.
You're paying for a weather app because it's premium. Like a weather app comes pre-installed on your phone, right? You're getting a premium product, and all the premium brands, they don't use decimals. If you go to
or 99 typically, but Apple maybe being the exception, but
yeah,
because there were all those studies about the user psychology of $39.99 looks like less expensive because it's 39 instead of 40 and you anchor on the first number and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of wonder if like consumers just burn out on all that crap and like just it's $40. Like it's $40.
The only one way to know, David.
If you do .99, you're inviting the user to think, oh, it's only $49.99. If you say this is $50, you're basically saying this is $50. You're not hiding behind anything, and people think it's worth it. It's more of an aspirational sort of, yeah.
I don't know. I think it will depend on whether or not the perception of your product is mostly a luxury good or mostly a commodity good, right? I think it will just depend on how your users think about it. And again, you can't know until you test it. I would wonder what I want to try. I want the Walmart pricing. Let me charge $39.97 because it's cheaper than $99 and see how that works. So let me know, Tim, when you add that. I need to open a Supreme Court case for that so I can do the Walmart pricing. $39.88 is what I want to charge.
To the penny pricing.
Yeah.
All right. This is a fun little aside at the end, but we do need to wrap up. So
before Jake implicates us in any more fraud schemes.
I knew this was going to be a little more lively than some of our past paywall roasts, but this you two really delivered today.
All right, Abbott and Costello of paywalls over here.
As we're wrapping up, there is a QR code to join Sub Club. We talk about all this stuff on the podcast. We've had Jake on the podcast a couple times. Jake's also in the Sub Club community where we talk about all this kind of stuff, and then we send out a newsletter regularly. So if you're into all this stuff, like what you heard today, there's lots more to come in the Sub Club community podcast and newsletter. And as I said earlier, we are going to reduce the frequency of paywall roasts. So probably 2 or 3 months from now, we'll do another one. But keep an ear out because these are a ton of fun. And I think they're super valuable because your paywall is a high leverage point. And so hopefully we've given a lot of good tips that will actually help you make more money. Anything else as we wrap up, Jacob and Jake?
I just love that opportunity to be mean and nobody can get mad at me. So.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming. This is awesome. Always fun to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Jacob and Jake. This is great.
All right. Bye, everybody.